There we go. Let's unmute us. That actually helps. Fail. I've done the intro. It's fine. Good evening and welcome to episode 300. And this gives me the chance to actually sneaky look. No one will notice the title, episode 324. I was right. Of VTUK UK. It's crazy. 324. Sorry, Phil.
Kaz, did you just sniff your fingers?
If we need to eat some all bran, I think, because we're just not regular enough. Yeah? Why? You found a new beer. Beer. Okay. Nothing wrong with beer. Oh. Hoppy Xmas. Okay. Yeah. Oops. Oh Christ. Is it the same as you remember, or have they tweaked the recipe? Is it the traditional rose tinted glasses where it's like or the rose tinted taste buds? Yeah, we should be. Yes, because I've only got 2 channels and they're both unmuted. Mark isn't. Look, say something. Do it. No, do it. Do it again on the... Oh, I forgot. Why is that not... hair? Oh, hang on. No, Zoom's set. I changed the Zoom settings when I did the podcast. Where's my Zoom? Oh, it's on the other window. Don't worry, we'll get there. It's fine. Chat, audio. There it is. Same as system. No, that's my microphone. Is that better? No. Oh no, I can't tell from here either. Yeah, it's because I'm... speakers, and I need to change the speakers to that one. There you go. Now say something.
Right. Let's try.
As soon as you walked in the joint.
Yeah, you can hear. They can hear us now.
That's great. I can't. So that's brilliant, bloody brilliant.
How do you know they can hear us?
Because I've got the stream up.
Okay.
I'm utilising my new 2-screen setup.
Bink. So is that still working? Because I've just changed it again. That should still be working. Right.
No,
yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Oh God. Technical hiccups. This will teach me to record a podcast and change the settings, won't it? So we're only, 10 minutes in and just got the audio sorted. Sorry, Mark. I'm useless. Just gonna.
Makes no odds to me. Anyway, so last Christmas I came across a beer that I really liked.
Did you?
Last Christmas.
Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can guess what it's called now.
Okay. Is it Brewdog by any chance?
It is.
It's a Brewdog.
Hoppy. What was it, Dave?
Hoppy Xmas.
Hoppy Xmas, yes, because Brewdog took the Christ out of Christmas. Anyway, I feel as though I'm repeating myself there.
No, not at all.
It's like me on the bloody podcast. All I do is repeat myself.
Chandler, does it taste the same as you remember?
Oh yeah, sorry. Does it taste the same as you remember? Is it...
I've got a feeling they changed something.
Or have they tweaked the recipe a little bit? Or is it just the rose tinted taste buds? Maybe
in my head I remember loving it. Lump, good evening, good to see you. Have a good one. You're off already. Take care. Hope your weather's better than ours, because I'm freezing. I'm not actually.
You've got a nice hoodie on though. Yeah, but you never take your house temperature any higher than like 15 degrees anyway, do you?
Shall I tell you what?
What's your
What
heating
are
on?
we set at the moment? Okay,
18.
the heating's gone off.
It's gone off.
If you look at the top, that's the front room
14.1.
temperature.
Is there
There.
anybody in the front room?
Yeah, Lindsay.
Lindsay's in the front room.
At 14 degrees, that's all right, isn't it?
Oh, sorry. I thought that said 9.5.
No. That it's off at the moment. So 9.5 is the off state.
Oh, right. Okay, so that's what it
So
will drop
if-
down to if you
if
you
I-
let it.
I've just hit boost for 2 hours, and that's going to boost the front room to 16 degrees.
16? Bloody hell.
Balmy
You do-
16 degrees.
Yeah, you do realise I'm joking. I've turned that off. It's
Yeah. It is. It does all depend where your thermostat is as well. Because I used to live in a house, and the thermostat was in the hallway, and the house had a really old door, so the
Yeah.
hallway was constantly freezing,
Yeah.
but the rest of the house was baking because the thermostat never turned off.
hence why our thermostat's in the front room,
Yeah.
Yeah,
which
my
it does
thermostat's
happen to be.
there.
as is a cold front room. It
Yeah.
really is. It's not nice, not pretty at all. How many cameras on that phone?
Is it the
I
iPhone?
never actually noticed. 5 on the back plus 1 on the front.
5 on the back, or is one of those a flash? Are they all actually cameras?
No, there's 5 plus the flash.
Jesus Christ!
Which phone is it?
20.
That's 20.
21.
Triple lens camera, plus depth sensor, and one of them's a flash. Sorry.
The flash is that little one in the middle. So one of them might be an infrared sensor.
Oh,
It looks like there's at least 4 cameras on there. Definitely.
I don't freaking know. No, because
What did you say? S20 Ultra.
21, 22. I don't know what it is.
Okay.
It's a phone.
It's not an iPhone, so I wouldn't care.
It's a slam slung.
No, you see,
Old school. Look,
no,
only need one lens.
that's because it's a shit iPhone.
It's an old iPhone. It's not
No,
shit,
no.
it works.
No,
I suppose the word shit and iPhone come hand in hand, don't they? It's
What? 4 cameras on the back.
does what I need it to do. That's all that matters.
No, that is 4 lenses on the back.
oh, is it?
Right. Yeah, four lenses on the back, and 1 on the front. Impressive.
I don't know.
Welcome to Phone Talk UK.
There you go. That's all right.
I'm actually due. I was due an upgrade in July. I'm on 12 monthly upgrades. Every 12 months I get an upgrade. But obviously on my contract I pay for that. Now I'm friends and family on the particular company I'm with.
Okay.
I've got no idea who they are. But yeah, I'm friends and family. I think I get 40-50% discount on it. So it's worth for the discount being on a 12 monthly upgrade. Went to upgrade in July, and I'm like, what's the point? It's a bit like vaping. It's all just a bit droll at the minute.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Unless you want something that folds in half. But then...
I know 2 people that have had foldy phones and they've both gone back.
Yeah.
Both Samsung.
If they went for the first or second gen, the 4th gen, the insurance companies are actually covering it. Whereas the earlier ones, the insurance companies went, nope, we're not insuring that because the screen's going to break.
You see, what pisses me off, he got a Samsung Fold of some sort. It's his brother-in-law. He got it. He's like, what do you reckon? I went, the shit, mate. What? Don't be an early adopter. Be one of the ones that wait.
Wait. With that,
He's like, no, I'm going to be an adopter. I'm going to be one of the early ones. It's going to be fucking great. I says, I'll give it 6 months and it'll be broken. Anyway, within 3 months, it was broken, right?
Right.
Rang EE02, whoever it was. They didn't want to know. Oh, no, you need to go back to Samsung. I was like, fuck off. Your contract is with O2. It's less than 6 months old. Therefore, get them anyway.
First thing Samsung will do is turn around and go, yeah, go on, ring back who you bought the phone off of.
Yeah, they were both batting each other off.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's their
And
fault,
this is-
their fault, their fault, their fault. Eventually, you sent it back to them. I says, did you record all your IEMI's numbers? Because I guarantee you, they're just going to send you a new phone because it ain't worth their time and hassle.
Yeah.
Anyway, they've had it 6-7 weeks now.
Yeah.
Not a dicky bird from them.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
So
Because they won't send him a replacement. They will try and fix the one that they've got.
really,
Yeah. First thing
Samsung
they'll
will
do.
try and fix their own phone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
They'll send
I
it off to
don't-
Samsung. Samsung will then look at it and go, right, what we're going to do? We're going to fix it.
You see, that was my issue with Apple. That's why I fell out with Apple. Right. So at the time, every phone in our house, every tablet in our house, desktop computer, my laptop, they were all Macs.
Yeah.
And I even bought, I was in control of the budget for the Macs at work at the time. So we were spending a good 60, 70K a year with
Yeah.
Apple, replacing suites. Took my phone in 8, I think it was 7, 8 at the time.
Yeah.
The Pro, big one. Took it in, the earpiece had gone. Went in. Oh yeah, not a problem, not a problem. Took it in, repaired it. Took it back, went again. Took it back like 6 weeks later. They're like, no, we only warrant our repairs for 4 weeks. If you want a new one, it's not worth replacing. You may as well just buy a new phone. And that was the point. I went, you know what? Fuck you. Fuck
So
your
if
phones.
so it was within warranty. They fixed it.
It was out. It was out. No, it was within warranty when they fixed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the time the repair failed, it was out of warranty.
Yeah.
And they
did
went,
not give a shit.
we only warranty repairs for 4 weeks.
Mhm.
Wow.
So
That's good.
they got a big, long Dolan middle finger. Every Apple device in our house is gone now, apart from Lindsay, who is a sheep.
She on an iPhone?
She's still iPhone and won't come off iPhone. But yeah, I even managed to talk round the department in scrapping off all the Macs. So it cost
Wow.
them, honestly, and I didn't throw that in the shop. I didn't throw it at them in the shop when I kicked off.
No.
But they lost hundreds and hundreds of thousands. And the person that took my job when I left, I'm still in touch with.
Yeah.
And he promised me he'd never
Never go back to Max.
go back to Apple. And he swore, we had the conversation last week. He's still not gone back. So I bet you, fucking hell, I bet there's over £1 million worth of business they've lost because of one phone.
Okay. Ouch. Ouch.
Gosh, yeah, we had a Samsung TV through Korea. You know what? Through all the Samsung handsets I've had and all the Samsung products I've had, never ever had an issue. Always been spot on, bang on. Phones have lasted well past the 2 years.
Yeah.
They're great. I've never had an issue with Samsung.
I had a Samsung. The only issue that I had with it was
Bloatware.
all the bloatware that's on it. all the stuff that's on it that I'm going, I don't need that. Can I get rid? Oh, it won't let me delete it. Right, okay. That's taking up like 2 gig of my storage. Can I not get rid of it? No.
Yeah, and that's the only reason I stick with Apple.
They have just done an OS update that I pull. I tend to wait. I don't accept them straight away, but pull down a new OS update. And even that is not, do you know, how Apple updates cripple your machine. This, you know what, I can't fault this. You know, it's coming up to 2 years old in June, July, whatever.
Apple are the worst for bloatware because you could only use the Apple software.
They're metaverse.
Yeah, they used to be, but they've set it up now. You can actually delete, because I used to basically anytime I do an update, it'd give you new apps and you couldn't delete them. So I just had a junk folder. But now you can actually delete the apps
right
off of it. So they've actually gone down that.
Can you delete Apple OS and install Android on it?
Yeah, that would be good.
I'm sure somebody somewhere has done it.
I bet they've not.
I bet
They're going to be hardware. Those CPUs are going to be hardware signed.
Yeah.
It ain't happening.
What do they call it? Unblocking? Not unblocking. What is it you do to your iPhone?
Jailbreak.
Jailbreak it. That's the one.
Yeah, no, but I'm not a fanboy of anything. A phone's a phone to me. I said, if I didn't need it for when I was traveling out and about, I'd just get rid of the phone and just have a tablet. I don't need a mobile phone.
No, I'm with you on that because if you didn't need to carry it in your pocket, a tablet is awesome because it's like huge screen, 10-inch, 11-inch screen, whatever.
Yeah, good for old men like me. Hello? When we're failing eyesight.
Yeah, I'm on the phone. A bit of Don Jolly.
Yeah. How you all been anyway? It's been a while, and I've disappeared, literally disappeared off social media for the past.
Yeah, you vanished off the face of the earth almost, mate.
I have been so fucking unbelievably busy. So busy that I've just not had time to even lick my own gooch. I've been that busy.
Okay. Fair
and it's just been horrific. So if I've ignored anyone or not spoken, not joined in on Zooms, I apologise. I've just been that. I think the only person I've been speaking to is Matt Waits, and that's just been brief. Howdy doody. So yes, I apologise. It's been horrific, and it's not over yet. But I'm looking forward. I believe I finished work on. I think I finished work on the 16th.
That's all right for some minute.
23rd I finish, and then I've got a week off, a whole week off. But I've got 2 personal projects as well that I've got on the board, so it'll be a time to
get on with those.
It's so bad, and what with the weather and kids and my beauty this week was that.
Oh God, no!
Congratulations!
Not again.
Honestly,
is that you
weekend,
or someone else?
That's me. I felt like dog shit over the weekend. Last weekend, I felt absolute death, and didn't think about it. Just got on with it. Sat and sweat and felt manky. I wasn't coughing or anything like that. No, a little bit of snot, but it was literally just feeling shit. And I thought to myself the other day, what if I've got COVID? I thought, give it a good and literally as I dripped it, it went red. It was like, oh, you're fucking joking.
Dripped it. Oh man.
So yeah, I feel all right now. I'm convinced by how quick that went red. I'll still be red now, but
it's turning into the new version of the common cold, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, no, that was it. Lindsay tested the day I tested, and she was positive as well. She rang work. They were like, "Yeah, take tomorrow off work, but we need you on Saturday." So, so it should be now, isn't it? We deal with it. We get on with it.
It's how it is at our place. It's a case of I ring up, test.
Yes,
you
Paul,
know, if you test positive, you ring up and go, "I tested positive. How do you feel?" "Oh, I'm all right, actually. All right. Well, we'll see. We'll see you in about half hour then. All right.
Yes, Paul. Gades. I have the Gades.
Gades.
Just had the flu and COVID. I'm done with COVID jabs. I know this isn't the COVID show. I'm done. I'm not.
Well, I'm done with them anyway because I'm not old enough to get them anymore. So I won't get any more.
It's a bit. They seem to have the jabs seem to have disappeared again, haven't they? It's like we'll give them to the old people.
Yeah, the people that could actually die from it.
And it's nice that I don't get one because I'm obviously not that old, so it's okay.
What, flu or?
I don't get flu either. No, I could have the flu if I paid for it.
Yeah, I get flu through my work, but the COVID I don't get because I'm not old enough.
Yeah. Anyway, welcome to VTUK. What you're voting on?
Yeah. We're not. We're just.
What's that? I missed Black Friday. What did everyone pick up?
Oh, now then,
I know
did.
Chandler did.
Yeah,
I know, yeah, Chandler did, and I did one thing as well. So Chandler, go on, you go.
I got. Oh, well, actually, so I've got a pod system. I picked this up. They've still got it on Evolution Vaping for $11.99. I managed to accidentally get 2 lots of 0.6 ohm coils when I meant to get one of the 1.2 and the 0.6.
Mm.
The 0.6 as a direct lung is a bit too tight for a direct lung, but the 1.2 on a mouth to lung isn't bad. I'm enjoying it as a mouth to lung thing. It's gonna be way too loose for you, Mark.
I can guarantee it.
It's a good 1.2, 1.3. It's not for me. It's bearable. I would like it a fraction tighter, but it's okay.
Is that MTL or DL for you?
This is mouth to lung, yeah.
Your cheeks aren't going in enough.
Yeah, it's looser than I normally have it. I normally go for either a 1 or a 1.1, and it's slightly looser.
Mm.
So, but yeah, actually, I'm quite impressed. I would have been gutted with. I would be really annoyed with it if I'd have paid the full price, because it was about 50, 55 quid full price.
What is it?
It's the Grim. It's the Grim pod kit. There you go. It's got Grim written on it. Look, see, Grim. But yeah, I would have been really disappointed with it if I'd paid 50 quid. But for 12 quid, it's like 1200 mAh battery, 1.2 ohm coil, mouth to lung, 5 litres. 5 litres? That'd be good.
5 litres.
5 litre tank. 5 mil. It's about 4.5, 5 mil. Yeah, it's lasted me all day, that. Which is cool. Got another pod as well. Oh, where is it? It says Oxvar Velocity. There you go.
So does it have a velocity style deck?
What's the velocity style deck? That's the one with the 2 sticking up the middle and it's dual coil, isn't it? Yeah, no. It's a pod system. It comes with a 0.15 and a 0.3 ohm coil. I've tried the 0.3 ohm coil. It's okay, but they were selling the build decks on eSig 1 for a £5, so I got a build deck to go in it. And this thing is way better than a pod system ought to be. I thought pod systems were supposed to be shite. But I've just got a single Clapton in there coming out at 0.5 ohms, 24 watts. Flavour. It's ridiculously good. I've got tanks that aren't as good as that. That I paid a ridiculous amount of money for it. And worst comes to it, it's got a pod that's got a 510 on it. So if you want, you can take that off.
Got an adapter.
Yeah, plug your adapter in, and you've got a 21700 100 watt mod. So, and I think they've still got those on Evo as well at 25 quid. So for 25 quid, even if you just want to use it as a 100 watt 21700 mod, yeah, bit of a bargain. So, and I've picked up. Let me see if I can get it out without removing the decorations that I put around it. I got a brass RDA to go on my walking stick.
Did that go back?
Sorry?
You send that back for something?
It did, yes. Because the tube that... basically, they changed the design of the 18650s very slightly after I'd got it, and the new style 18650s wouldn't fit. Oh. So Stu had it back and has changed the battery tube out. So it now actually takes batteries and works, and I've got a brass RDA on the top to drip with. That's a brass temple from Vapers Cloud on top there, which is cool.
And did you get that in the sales?
And I got that in the Black Friday. I spent way too much on Black Friday. I wasn't going to buy anything. I ended up buying 2 systems, that RDA and a Valkyrie Mini as well.
Well, Mark tried to get us both to spend a load of
Hey,
money.
no. I was just sharing. I was sharing.
Close. Honestly, came that close to actually getting something.
Yeah, I was very close.
I'd got it in my cart and I was going.
What was that? The Vapor Cloud?
No, that was the 50 quid
Mex.
The 50 quid Mex that you found for us on Supreme Vape. Was it Supreme Vape? Yeah, I'd got a 21700. What was it? I can't remember who it was now, but yeah, ridiculous. That would have cost you like 300 quid. Full price. They were selling all the mechs off, didn't matter which one, at 50 quid.
Yeah.
So they obviously decided they're not going to do mechs anymore.
It's a shame because they were renowned for them. I couldn't believe the purge stuff was.
Yeah.
They were, trust me, when I say below cost, they were well below cost.
Oh yeah,
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, I was very tempted in getting a purge just to say I own a purge, bit of history, but I decided not to in the end because I knew it was just going to go on a shelf and I was never going to use it. So I thought, I'm not spending 50 quid on something that I know is just going to go on a shelf. I'll spend 50 quid on something that I think I'm going to use and then don't.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to spend 50 quid on something that I know I'm not going to use.
And again, it would be. I came to a similar conclusion. It was a case of, mech, I'm going to use it for a little while, and then it's going to be, that's nice. Put it down somewhere.
Jimmy's just said over on YouTube, is Sig1's doing the Steam Crave mini robot for 20 quid. Was tempted till I thought, do I need it? Does look good though.
Which was it? The Steam Crave. Oh, yeah, and then just the other day, I've seen the who is it that does the teeter? VPon. VPon, who do the teeter.
Right, yeah.
VPon teeter was a pod system that took the .mod AIOs in it.
Yeah.
They have literally just released, it's on pre-order at the moment, the Teeter X, which basically takes full-size borrows. And I'm looking at it going, 21700, full-size borrow.
Do I need it?
Yeah, I'm literally sitting on my hands going, I can't afford it anyway.
Well, you see, it's been good because Fogstar have just released those have just got a new battery in.
Really?
21700, 4500 mAh, 35 amp.
35 amp, 4005. Wow.
Yeah.
Is that Molicel or?
Yes, I think it's a Molicel.
Wow. They've come out with a new one. Ooh. Having said that, this was 21700, so I can.
Exactly. You got a new 21700 mod. That's all that matters.
And I may have bought one for the missus.
Mike
Christmas present.
Mike Haynes in YouTube says, I managed to get 3 purges and an AVL.
Wow. Good lad.
Well done. Doing God's work, saving us from ourselves.
To be fair, they'd got. I looked only a couple of days back, and they've still got some of the mech squonkers, the Purge mech squonkers. They've still got some of those in stock, and I mean they were over 200 quid.
Mm-hmm.
They're just a box mod mech squonker, but it's got Purge on the side.
Yeah, that's one of the things I was looking at getting, but I thought they looked a little bit bulky, so I went, nah.
Yeah.
I do like purges. Purges. Okay, let me rephrase that. The OG purges were great. Yeah, they were solid. They hit like a drunken stepdad. They were stereotypically a banging mod. No, banging setup. What they're like now, I don't know. I know Matt likes his. I still swear by the SOI.
Do they still make them, or is this people selling off stock that they've had for a while?
I don't know, because since we've not been going live, the amount of companies that have sadly
disappeared.
John over at Just Admit, he's closed his doors. The guys over at I go to call them what they used to be called, but Chef's Vapor, as they are now.
Chef's Flavors, as they
Flavors, whatever the word.
It was Vapors before, yeah. But yeah, they've gone. It's like that was a shock. I mean, that sort of company, you usually expect we're closing, so everything's on a sale, but no, they just
Fast Tech
went.
Yeah,
Fast Tech.
Yeah.
I've only heard rumours about this because I've looked on the websites and what have you, and
you won't find any vape kit on there.
Is there no vape kit? Because the last time I looked, there was still vape stuff on it.
No, I think it was literally like 2 days ago. I think they'd sent out an email to people, and I saw someone post about it.
I then looked on Facebook, on Fast Tech, and they'd still got vape stuff on there, but I haven't looked recently, so maybe.
Yeah, unfortunately so, and it's decided to shut the doors. I think what's happening slowly is the what market are we? The hobbyist market is getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. Whilst I don't want to say that the Chinese market is getting bigger and bigger, what I do want to say is the disposable market's getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
And I think we've seen the largest influx of quitters.
Yeah.
Because of these. I don't want to turn this into a show where we slag off.
Well, no, but
they obviously have a place, but not in my mind, not in my world.
No, they have. They do have a place, but it should be a very starter place and moved on from and encouraged to move on quickly. But
when I actually picked up a pod system like this and went, actually, this is ridiculously good. It's almost, why am I faffing around with all the fancy schmancy
question
blah, blah,
for
blah,
you?
because this is as good as that.
Go back 15 years or whenever it was when you first started your vaping journey and put a disposable in your hand. Would you be sat here tonight with all the stuff in your drawer?
Are you talking about if 10
disposables were available then,
if a current disposable, because I had a disposable,
a current
about 10 years back, and it was shite. I mean, that was the point then. The stuff that you could get was just meh. It worked, but it had issues. So that's why you suddenly went into rebuilding and because I was on C4s, C3s, whatever they were, cartomizers. And someone went, I'm surprised you're not into building yet, in the shop that I went into. And I'm like, wait, what? And it went from there. But yeah, if I was given a disposable now, it was like rabbit hole. If it was a disposable that you could get now, somebody had handed to me, it would be like, whoa, what's this? Brilliant. Don't need no else. I wouldn't necessarily be hunting for something better.
I think I would be, because 2 mil capacity, can't refill it. It's basically, I don't know if I would have had to have moved on from it, because at some point it would have been, well, this is just as the same cost as smoking is.
Here's a question for you. Here's a
right,
question
mate.
for you. Had disposables existed 15 years ago at the start of vaping careers, right? Had they have existed, would we have the TPD now? Or would we have 10 mil disposables because the industry hadn't imploded on itself and the TPD forced to come in to regulate?
I don't know.
Question.
Yeah, I mean, as Dave's just said, I don't know. Actually, thinking about it, because one of the main reasons that I flicked over, I got into the rebuilding, was because I was such a complete tight ass, and didn't want to keep forking out for replacement coils, tanks,
Cartos.
cartos, because they were only a carto was, you know what they were like. You'd get a pack of 5, and at least one of them would last you about an hour or two. Out of that 5. So it was the rebuildables was like, well, I've bought this wire. This wire lasts for God knows how long. All I'm swapping out is cotton that I was buying from Tesco's. So it was cheap as chips. So if the disposables that are like a £5 a piece, I would probably want to move on to something. Whether it would have been the expensive stuff, or whether it would have been, if this was available, whether I'd have stuck with something like that and been happy with it. It would probably have been something more along the rebuildable pod system line, I think.
Yeah. And the thing I say about that, I think if 10 years ago disposables that are now had existed, I think there would have been other rules brought in by now because of the batteries, because of the throwing away batteries.
I don't think they would. I think we wouldn't have killed ourselves with short fills. We wouldn't have. I just don't think the industry would be where it is today, because, let's, we all started with CE4, CE5s. We went down the Carto routes. We all went out and bought spinners. And then there was that point where...
Why was that a thing on vape shops? It was like you could buy a vape and a spinner.
Yeah, but that was it. That
was a thing.
Let's be honest, it worked.
Yeah.
Then we went on to your eye sticks and your either aero tank, or what was the Kanga version? No, Kanga was aero tank.
Sub-tank, the sub-tank
No, before
mini.
the sub. Before the
them.
sub.
Oh, now you're asking.
Oh, Nautilus. You got the Nautilus and the aero tank, which were the 2 MTL real with replaceable coils. The sub tank then came out, and then all of a sudden we had this boom of sub-ohm vaping.
Yeah,
and people went from,
because everything was mouth to lung prior to
that. Everything was mouth to lung. What caused? I, in my opinion, it was the show-off side of the industry, because you had your
yeah.
You had your tricksters, you had your back-to-back blowers, and all of a sudden sub-ohm became a thing, because it almost became a sport. Let's be honest.
Well, yeah, I mean your original rebuildable tanks that were coming out were K-Funs, Tay-Funs.
Yeah.
And they were all, and the thing was, everyone was like, oh yeah, get yourself a Tay-Fun GT and drill out the airflow.
Yeah.
And then pull out the pin, because there was a pin in the middle that could come out. It wasn't intentional for it to come out, but it did. So it was easy enough to drill out the airflow, get a bit more of a direct lung thing going on. But yeah, the tanks that were coming out at that point were all mouth to lung. They were all designed to emulate cigarette. Direct lung was kind of us lot hobbyists going, we want something different.
Who wants some bare clouds, bro?
Yeah, pretty much. It was a case of how much this vapor stuff. How big a cloud can we get?
But that all came about, in my opinion, from the shows, from the competitive side of the industry. Who can build the lowest? Do you remember? Can't think of his name.
God.
I need to go back and think. Do you remember the guy that used to build like 006 builds, and he used to hold a towel with a mech mod, and oh shit,
because it was getting hot.
It was that hot. He had to fire it using a towel. What was his name?
Not Stu.
No.
Honestly, can't remember.
I've got Ollie in my head. I need to message Ollie. He'll tell me exactly his name. He'll tell me exactly who he was. But he had a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And he used to have a damn... Come on, guys. Some of you are OG. If we've still got... Phil, if you're still here, you'll remember him.
Oh, where's Phil? YouTube. I'm looking in the wrong one.
No, Twitch.
Oh,
sorry,
Twitch?
Mick. We missed you, Mick. 9 years ago, if I could have had a Caliburn instead of a CE4 game changer, right? 9 years ago. Atlantis Aspire.
But the only thing is, obviously, it's the taking out. The technology was different back then, and we didn't have Nick salts.
If we could have that, I've never got into Nick salts, but I'm thinking.
But all disposables are all Nick salts.
Which is why I don't use them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I think if we could have the reliability of the modern coil, then would I have?
His name was DJ. His name was DJ. Sorry, I'm going to write that down, and I know his channel got shut down, but I'm going to see if I can find some video footage of him.
Cool.
Jimmy, he did have a YouTube channel. His name was DJ, and he literally built stupid. I mean, this is long before. This is before the 25 hours days. This was back in the days that the only cells that you could get had got fire in the title.
Oh, and they were literally like 10 amps tops if you were lucky.
10 amp pulse. That was your lot. And this guy used to build like 19 gauge builds. He used to sag the fuck out of the cells, and they were sagged that hard that these tubes he was using, he had to wrap in a wet towel so he didn't burn it. Oh, it was just Mr. Wiltsey. Good evening, good to see you, buddy. But yeah, no, just going back and thinking, what if? I think the industry would be in a very different place had Caliburns and that been introduced a decade ago.
If my coils were lasting a week, a fortnight per coil, and I was, paying a tenner a month for a pack of 5 coils, and it was lasting me a month, I'd probably quite happily cope with that.
Yeah,
I really would have done. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was the fact that the coils that I was getting out of I'd be lucky if it lasted a week. And the odd one, at least one in the pack would burn out, would either be instantly dead straight away or would burn out within a day. So it was, I'm not paying for these £2.50, £3, whatever it was per coil.
Yeah,
I'm not paying for these 5 times.
Yeah, I agree. If coals were as reliable as they are now back then, I probably would have never got into rebuildables. But I don't think I would have stuck with disposables because I have the thing about I want more juice. I want enough juice to last me a whole day.
But if we could have got the because back at that point your juice was a 30 ml dripper bottle. You could buy like 30 ml bottles of juice anyway. So if these disposables were available then, I would assume that you would be able to get a 5,000 puff or whatever it is, the big ones that they're not allowed to sell under the TPD in the UK. Theoretically,
that's true. Yeah, you'd have the bigger capacity.
You'd have
ones.
the bigger capacity ones, but I think I would have moved on from those to a replaceable coil system at least.
Would we have had all the silly pancake juices on the shelves with all the cartoon characters on? Would it have ever evolved into that? And I'm not right. Take this. I'm not saying this is a good or a bad thing, but had it have not gone down the hobbyist route, would have Big Pharma and Big Tobacco taken it over?
They would have tried.
They would have probably taken it over earlier.
But if it was this good straight off, they would have had much harder competition because they would have had to have tried to emulate the good stuff.
They wouldn't. They'd have just gone right round and bought everyone up like they do.
Yeah, they would.
And then all of a sudden, we've got is Big Tobacco, Big Pharma running the show. Would it have ever made it to the hobbyist?
I mean, it probably would have done, because once Big Pharma and Big Tobacco got involved, they would have probably done their own version of the TPD, where you would have found devices slowly getting less and less juice in them, so you'd have to buy them more often. And then people would start getting pissed off with that. So if Big Pharma had taken over it, they would have tried to screw every penny out of people, and then people would have probably tried to find out, well, how can I fix this and make it last longer?
But I think
that would have born its own.
But I think the hobbyist side of things would have been more along the lines of things like the Trillium, where you had a tank that would take a coil. So I think
made a good point.
So the hobbyist side of things may have gone that way. It would have been tanks that take existing coils.
So as Jimmy's just said, would it have evolved without the hobbyist? I think you were always going to have your juice creators, your juice makers. I think they were always going to be. They were always going to be prevalent, weren't they? And hardware, I think.
Well, things like squonking really took off because of the TPD. It was a case of you can only get 2 mil tank. The
squonking was well before the TPD,
but it made a big resurgence afterwards, and mainstream manufacturers jumped on it because it was a way of getting around. Well, we don't have to make a 2 mil tank. We can sell the squonking devices that have bigger bottles in it because that's kind of not regulated by the TPD.
But I had many a conversation because I was quite involved in discussions with government at the time and trying to work out what was right and the right way of doing things. And, with advocacy, that was what we did back then. You work out facts and you work with the facts. And squonkers were actually being pulled by trading standards because it was still considered a vessel more than 2 mil. So by rights on paper, and I believe even still today, squonkers are still not permitted under the TPD or the TRPR.
This was why squonkers were starting to get sold without bottles in them.
Yeah, and you got given a bottle for free.
You got a bottle for free, and things like the Centaurus came with a bottle in it that was a storage bottle for use with your tank on the top, and you could buy a squonk bottle to go with it.
It was the whole accessory, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the way they got round it, but it took a while for that to kick in, didn't it? When the TPD first started, Squonkers really went whoop.
Yeah, I think the
And,
first
and
one.
as Mike Haynes was saying, agreed, Jimmy, it was us hobbyists that drove innovation, and it was. I think it was the hobbyist market worldwide that made the industry what it. I'm not going to say what it is, what it was. You know, you go back, some of these guys now that don't know a vape fest or a vapor expo from 6, 7, 8 years ago haven't lived.
Just think about the where the first tank came from. It was the cartomizer. Remember the cartomizers? That was just a little tube with cotton inside it, and basically you moistened the cotton from the top, put your rubber bung back in, and vaped for. Effectively, you were dripping. You're basically dripping into this cartomizer. And what the hobbyists did was they drilled a hole in the cartomizer and then put a tank round it. And it was the hobby. It was like, oh, Perspex tube, and you can get these washers that fit on the top, and that turns it into a tank. And that was, and then all of a sudden, China went, oh, that's a good idea, and copied it and marketed it and made it ready-made like that. And it all developed, and then it was the hobbyists that went, okay, squonking, here you go, the bottle's underneath, feeds it up. And again, that got took over by the mainstream manufacturers. So, like you said, all the hobbyists came up with the innovation, and then the manufacturers just went, okay, we'll make our version of that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, pretty much.
Market that.
Yeah, it's a case of, you know, all of the field testing, and everything had been done by hobbyists or the YouTube videos, what have you.
Question is, so where we is today?
Yeah.
What changed the industry? And I'm going to open this up to chat as well.
What tends to happen now is, on the hobbyist side of things, they'll come up with something, they'll manufacture a batch of them, launch it into the market, and then when they've sold out, they go, right, okay, that's it, done. Let's do something else.
But why is the industry in the state it is today? What happened? What went from the industry being fucking incredible? And let's be honest, it was the highlight of every Vapers year. You had Vape Fest, you had Vapor Expo, you had Expo, you had Vape Jam. You had the three, and you kind of worked your year around it. I know, as a retailer and a manufacturer myself, my year rotated around that.
It was small, it was niche, and you couldn't get stuff that did the same thing without cheaply. You couldn't get something that did the same thing cheaply.
No.
So if you wanted a dripper that chucked bear clouds, you had to buy a mech mod. And there was a small, relatively, set of manufacturers that made these devices, and the only place you could really get them, especially at a bargain, was at the events. You knew that if you went to an event, there would be these manufacturers there, and they would have in stock. You wouldn't have to do an X1 on a Facebook to get the stuff. They would have it, and they may even be doing a special sneaky show discount on it.
Oh, look!
So
look
that
at
was
it, right.
why it was because it was hard to get the stuff.
let's take a look at me and League of Scoundrel.
Yeah.
So Benny, who ran and owned League of Scoundrel, was from Avid Life. Now, Avid Life at the time, AV mods, were fucking massive. The mods were completely different. They were customizable. They'd taken the Limitless mod and just blown it out of the water. These mods were incredible. Then Benny decided to go on his own and drip release a small amount of mods. He then decided on every continent he was going to have a distributor, a retailer of his mods. Now, luckily, because of who we were at the time, we managed to bag Europe. We had Europe. And we flew in the entire US team from the States, from California, into the UK, and they stood with us for an entire weekend. Do you remember it, Chandler?
Yeah.
Flew them in.
You had them on the same stall, didn't you? You kind of split your stall in half.
Yeah, we flew them in, and we released a mod that weekend. We were the first to have it. We were the first to sell it, and it was the first mod that was ever going to be wholesaled from League of Scoundrels. Now, everything before were released in such small numbers. Literally, I was the only one, right, that never actually made any money out of League of Scoundrels. So I think they retailed at 190. The first batch, the B1s, retailed at 190, either 190 or 230. I can't remember.
Around about the 200 quid mark.
About let's say 200 quid, and we bought them in, let's say, at $100.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, dollar to pound was 2 to 1 then, so we were bringing them in at 50 quid. We were retailing them at 200. A week later, when they'd all sold, they were all flipping at £1,000 a piece.
Yeah.
So when I say I'm probably the only one that didn't make any money out of Scoundrel, I covered costs and overheads, didn't make much profit after that. Not having flown the US team in, put them up in hotels for a week, blah, blah, blah. But again, to get someone like, he was a celebrity. He was an absolute celebrity, and people wanted to meet him. I was watching video footage on my phone 2 nights ago of us standing on that stage and throwing out £1,000 cost to us of mods. Yeah. We were literally hurling fucking brass mods off this stage.
Yeah. Health and safety be damned.
Bounced in. But they were the days.
It's kind of supply and demand, isn't it?
I think it's the same now, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, but it's almost the other way round. The manufacturers are now competing to get us to buy their products, rather than us fighting to get hold of. I mean, if it was, I don't know. I'm trying to think of. I mean, think of Lost Vape now.
Mm-hmm.
What was the original Lost Vape? We were trying to think of this on the podcast. The
original Lost Vape.
Not
Centaurian.
What mod? Yeah, the mod that they were after, that everybody wanted. The Lost Vape. There's so many of them now. I'm losing track.
The original Lost Vape was a VGod mod, and it was a little metal C-shaped C-paneled mod with a sliding door.
It was a C-frame. It was a DNA board on it.
It was a DNA
dual
40,
battery,
60 dual cell. The original one was white. It was, and I managed to get 2 or 3 of these. And again, that was another one bearing in mind it was variable at the time,
Yeah.
they were fetching again £600, £700, Google VGod DNA mod.
I'm trying to remember the name of the original Lost Vape, and it's Google Foo. I'm lost in the new ones now. But that was a unicorn mod for loads of people.
Yeah.
And now, and it was like £200, something like that.
There we got the.
Now you can get the new Lost.
The Thelma.
Yeah.
No,
Thelma?
well before that.
Yeah.
But now you're looking at the Lost Vape. These ones are now like the Thelma and that you're looking at 50-60 quid. It's easily half the price, and it does. Let's be honest. Compared to the original, there's not a huge amount of difference.
What you got? You got the Therion. That was a single, but that was the 75, wasn't it? What was before the 75?
Yeah, you got the Therion.
It would have been a 60 watt.
Paranormal Triad, but they're all 250.
Paranormal.
No, it was before the Paranormal. Because they released the ostrich panels, and it was before the Paranormal.
Because the Paranormal was the one I remember that everyone go, oh, Paranormal, get Paranormal, blah, 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 blah. And it was it was high end. Because it was DNA, it got the leather paneling on the side, and it got about 15 different variants, hadn't it?
It was the E-Petite.
E-Petite.
That everyone went nuts over. That was the DNA. They did the 40 and then the 60, didn't they?
Yeah. So there was the E-Petite, then there was the Paranormal.
No, there was one before the Paranormal
some in
set
between.
off the whole interchangeable bit. And I can't remember what it was called. I'm going to go to chat. It's chat.
So I got because I got the Therion BF, and it was a Therion that had the sleeve. It was the C frame with the sleeve. But you're saying there was one before that as well.
Was Lost Vape Chinese initially? Was it?
Always been Chinese.
But they were. They weren't able. They either weren't able or they didn't produce enough of them to meet the demand for it.
They didn't.
Whereas now. Could you imagine having a current like my Lost Vape Centaurus, which I mean now secondhand, trying to sell it for more than what I paid for it?
If it's mass produced, it's dead in the water. Not dead in the water. You're still going to have a market. You're still going to have people that go and buy it. I think the borough market's got a lot to answer for, because the borough market did destroy a lot of the industry, in my opinion. Dale's just said, good evening, Dale, hope you're well. TPD short fills, which lead to investment companies throwing money at it to start the decline, in my opinion. I tend to agree. I went through the TPD, started well before our shop was open, well before the TPD kicked in. We then had the worry of the TPD, then the TPD kicked in, and we went through the whole sell through and being allowed to sell larger tanks and juice. I remember the day before clearing all stock out of the shop, big bottles and all that.
But it was. Sorry, go
on. I'm just agreeing with Dale. You know, investment companies throwing money out, and marketing companies. I think the day I realised that it was more than what it was the day that I found out that Dinner Ladies was owned by a marketing company, and Dinner Ladies were off the back of just fucking good marketing.
Yeah.
One, not in my opinion, good juice, but one good juice as far as the industry was concerned.
And then there was Riot Squad, which is still going. They were similar.
They were quite some time later. Riot Squad. I remember Riot Squad coming to the shop. trying the hard sell. I remember tasting the juices and thinking, honestly,
Again, initially they had a couple of good flavors.
I never tasted them.
Did you not? Okay.
No.
I remember. I don't know whether it was because it was one of the first that I tried at a show. I remember tasting the smashed apple and going, "Oh, this smashed apple pie. This actually tastes like an apple pie." But probably because I'd only gone from Hangson prior to that.
Yeah.
So going from Hangson to that was whoa.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what Dale said. T-base. I mean, what you can chart the path of why we are in vaping as we are now. I said it started with the TPD. Then we obviously with the TPD and the American side of it, you had American clamping down so much that killed off a complete market, which was a huge market on the hobbyist side.
Mm.
And then we had COVID, and well, it wasn't actually that. What happened next was the market got flooded with pod systems, and everybody got confused by pod systems. There were so many.
We're missing a massive chunk there.
But
the heydays, the days, that you see. For me, why we were, and I'm not blowing my own trumpet here, but we spent a lot of time talking to and exploring what was available in the US. And we used to bring over a lot of stuff that had never been tried over here. That was just completely on another planet. And don't get me wrong, we had 30ml glass dripper bottles on the shelf, 24, 25 quid, 30, 35 quid, some of them. But we overpaid for them. Don't get me wrong. We paid big for them. We passed that on and we made money off them. Don't get me wrong. But that was, for me, the joy of the industry was going away and finding these new.
The American side of things was the flavors, really, because all we'd got over here at that point was the Hangson.
Mint, tobacco, and fruit. That
tobacco,
was it.
cola, a Red Bull rip-off, if you were lucky, menthol flavors, and that was about it. And it was the Americans that were coming round with these bakery flavors and all these new flavors that was like, oh, you've got to try this, and that's what you were bringing over.
That's what we spent our time and our research and development budget. A hell of a lot of it was spent in the US.
Yeah,
and I wasn't particularly overt with what we were doing because it was very niche in what we were doing, which is why our business did so well online.
Yeah. I mean, the Americans were the stuff that you were getting from there were your drippers and your mechs. The Germans were doing tanks. So your tanks and that were coming from the German side, the European side of things. You'd got, I suppose it was your Italians doing the squonkers. That was Italy and Greece. You were getting squonkers coming from there.
I'll never forget.
Fancy mods.
Yeah.
I'll never forget. I went into a random shop. I can't even remember where it was. I always used to go into vape shops, and they weren't like they are now. But I go in, and this, I think it was somewhere like Kick, or something like that, and they got this juice on the shelf, and they hadn't got many of them. And having chatted to the member of staff, that someone had been over to the States or wherever they'd gone and brought them back. And they were just selling the small quantity that they got. And I tasted this juice, and it was juice like I had never tasted before. Honestly, it blew my mind. And that juice was Element. It was pink lemonade. It was fresh squeeze. It was all those juices that were like, fuck me, they taste like.
Yeah.
And I then had to find them.
Mm.
I had to get in touch with them. We ordered God knows how many thousands of bottles on a first order, and for us, we had to put a lot of money into that. That was our first. Other than we put a lot of money into Limitless, we put a hell of a lot, tens of thousands into Limitless, and it had paid off. We'd then come across this juice, and putting money into juice to me seemed like a massive risk.
Mm.
To putting literally everything we'd made and saved into just to get it shipped and all the duty and everything that we'd have to pay on it because it was all done legitimately back then. To buy that amount to warrant the cost, and I shit you not, in that first weekend, we cleared nearly 5,000 bottles.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, you'd got all your American reviewers, hadn't you? You'd got Grim, Ruby Roo, all of them doing juice reviews and going, oh, we've got this lovely flat, and you couldn't get it over here for love and the money.
No.
You could order it direct and get it shipped.
Kaz, did you just sniff your fingers?
Yeah, thanks for the subscribe, Matt. But yeah, so to suddenly have it available, it was the company that had a piranha as their logo.
Lost Fish.
Lost Fish. There you go. I remember getting some of that. Was probably the first brand that I got. They were American, were they not?
They wanted us to distro that for them, but I did not like their range. I thought their range wasn't exciting.
I'll be honest with you. I'd probably trying it now. I would be like, eh.
Was there anything that sticks in your head that's amazing?
Anything that sticks in my head that was amazing from them. I never had the amazing stuff. It was a strawberry shortcake that I had from Lost Fish, and it was very nice compared to what I'd been having previously. So it stood out. But because I wasn't buying all of anything else, I hadn't got much to compare it to. Does that make sense at that point? Yeah, I got some of the Riot Squad stuff when I went to the expo.
Anyone remember Epic? And a juice called Apple Jacks, and it was a cinnamon and apple.
Yeah, no, don't remember that one.
I remember it coming in, and again, it was another big American order that we made, but they only had two great flavors out of the 6, so you knew you were going to end up with 4 slow sellers.
Yeah,
but 2 that just flew out. So you obviously tripled the order size on. But that Apple Jacks was I've never ever tasted anything like it. But the beauty back then was you had, I don't know if it's still going. What was the vape subscription box?
Oh yeah.
Oh God, yeah. Oh, who was it that did that?
Yeah, they used to sponsor stuff at Expo, didn't they? What was it?
Come on, chat. Don't let us
they kind of went by the wayside as soon as the TPD kicked in, didn't they?
Yeah, because it was called. So they've gone.
That was a good idea.
Sample box.
There you go.
That was it. Who got it? Mick, please. Well done, Mick.
And again, it was a case of we used to have 2 or 3 boxes a month come in. They're still going.
They weren't particularly expensive. You were basically getting 2 or 3 bottles for the price of 1, if I remember right, because I almost went for it.
You see, I went for the 12 box. I think the 12 box used to cost about $50-$60 with shipping. So
I remember they were about 50-60 quid, weren't they, over here?
Yeah. But I used to have, and they promised never to send the same juice twice.
Yeah.
So I had 2 subscriptions set up. So every month I got 24 bottles. I'd go through them, see which ones were great, then get in touch with the manufacturer.
Yeah.
Get their line sent over. And honestly, it was a full-time job just finding product. Just finding product. Would I go back and do it all over again? Fuck yeah. Take care, Dale. Good to see you, buddy.
See you later,
My sizzle box. He was actually a friend of mine. Sizzlebox, he was a friend of mine. He was a good lad. And he's still going, I believe. And in fact, he was one of the last people that still had some of my stock on there. My sizzle box. My sizzle box is still there.
I think this is the problem with any range, even now, is in any range you've got the odd one or maybe 2 where you go, oh, that's nice, and then there's another 3 or 4 in the range that are like, eh.
He's still got some Jeffries on there.
No,
massively out of date, but
what on Sample Box?
No, my sizzle box.
My sizzle box. I'm gonna have to Google that now.
Oh yes, yeah. Bramble.
I know he's got bread and butter pudding.
Bread and butter pudding as well, yeah. Got.
Oh, that's a shame. The trifle's out of stock.
Take a look in the bargain bin.
That's it. And then Vicky
word.
over.
Yeah,
Vicky
trifle.
Yeah.
Trifle mint.
Vicky over at El Diablo, he's still got stock of those. Whitlicker roller. My God, that was banging, that was. He's got Dr. Stanley's snake oil in stock. It's 80% off. Hold your horses. Hold your horses.
Hang on. He's never got this in stock. Hang on a minute.
£5.
Oh. No, he hasn't got it in stock. Damn it. I
Yes,
found
he has. Dr. Stanley's snake oil, short fill, £5. 50
snake
mil.
oil? What? Oh, okay. No, it's all right. I found the apple and elderflower, which he's got on the website, but he hasn't got any in stock.
All right.
Oh, short fill of snake oil.
£5.
For a £5. Wow, what was the...
Because he's got a waiting list on that at a minute, hasn't he? He only releases once every couple of months.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm sure T-Max hold it back.
For a £5.
Yeah, I remember yesterday the old Diablo Beelzebub. I used to like that. I'll get some more of that at some point.
Yeah, I was at Vicky. I didn't realise she was still going. I'm still friends with her on Facebook. And she's another one. She was one of our first juice lines that we brought in. And Beelzebub was it was that black currant, wasn't it? The Beelzebub.
Yeah, that was, and I liked it because it was really good mouth to lung.
Yeah.
Yeah, delightfully wicked mix of black currants and black raspberries with undertones of sweet blackberry and juicy apple. That was a really good mouth to lung. I imagine it would have blown my head off if I tried to direct lung it, but mouth to lung is really good.
Nom-noms.
Yeah, I mean, I said
there's
the
a
juices
few in there.
because I got into vaping about a year or 2 before the TPD kicked in. So I was just at the tail end of the good times in that sense. But I mean, the stuff that I used to get, I mean, obviously at some point at that, so it was like the sort of like a rail cracker, stuff like that I really liked. And there was one of the range that came from there as well. It was it Lust or something like that? It was
Lust. Yeah.
I'm not sure if it was Lust, but Lust always sticks in my head. But it was it was a fruity flavour.
Lust was a strawberry
lemonade or something like that.
Strawberry cream. No, it was more. It was a bakery flavour. Lust.
Yeah, no, it wasn't Lust. It was one of their other ranges though, and it was a fruity flavour, and that was just beautiful. Killed the coils, but it was absolutely beautiful. So stuff like that. And when you used to get the big 120 ml bottles of like pre-nick stuff, I used to get the one called S'mores, which I think they re-released recently, which I'm assuming probably tastes nothing like it used to, because I'm guessing they probably have different things in it now.
Yeah.
But I used to really like when I first got into direct lunging on the the Aspire tank Cleto. On the Cleto, because that was the first one I did was a Cleto, and I got the rebuildable deck for it as well.
Matt waits. How long until I can sell my stock as vintage at extortionate prices? I think you're the only one that'd overpay, mate.
Yeah.
Take it easy, Mike. Good to see you, buddy. Thanks for popping by. Tamala, Dandian, and Burdock. Cleto was amazing. It was.
Yeah.
And Cleto was a cracking tank. That 0.4 coil.
Yeah, 0.4.
Yeah. That was banging. It really was.
Somewhere in my box stuff, I still have a Cleto, and I still have a couple of Dibley Cleto tips as well.
But having got a Cleto tank and some coils, tried it about a year back now, probably. Got it out, stuck a coil in it, and it was.
It's a very dry vape, isn't it?
Yeah.
I did the same.
It was like, this just isn't as good as I remember it being.
No.
I don't know whether the juices now are because we get more flavour out of the devices we've got.
Yeah.
I wonder whether it would be if we could get some of our historically amazing juices and try them in a modern device. Would we be going, oh, this is incredible, or would we be just going,
yeah?
Yeah, would some slightly different flavours that aren't quite as nice start coming through?
Yeah, would we start going, oh, actually, hang on a minute, yeah, it's so difficult, because now when we try it, we go, yeah, this tastes different. It's probably because of the TPD. It may not be. It may just be.
It may be the devices are different.
Yeah,
could be. Could well be.
You see, hands down for me, there was two juices that I vaped the shit out of over the years. The first one is Game Over by Flawless before it came to the UK. They also did one called Hot Mess. Now, Hot Mess was a cinnamon churro with icing on it. And again, since the TPD, it's dog shit. The other one, what was the pear one from?
Akina oil.
Akina.
I was going to say the pre-made ones, not from concentrate. So the bottles that I bought the most of would be the Akina oil. Everywhere I found it was like, oh yeah, I love that. I got through bottles and bottles of that.
Do you miss it?
Sorry?
Do you miss it?
I do, and I do. I've may be able to sort something. But I do miss it. Again, I don't know whether it's going to taste the same when I.
That's my concern.
When I get it back, am I gonna get it
and
go?
It?
Am I going to get it now and go, oh yeah, that's just amazing. And the other one was the apple and elderflower. I bought.
Yeah, you see, Akina oil you can't buy over here anymore.
No, do they make it anymore?
I know Max sold Death Wish. You can buy thick oil in Canada, Jersey.
There's one.
I mean, to think of it now.
Vape Jersey, they've got butter oil.
Thinking of the Akina oil, that one, I'm pretty sure that is a flavour that wouldn't be treated well by the TPD regulations.
No, it was clean.
Oh, it was a clean one.
And I can say that knowing.
It wasn't bad on the coils either. I remember
No.
I remember
it
it
wasn't.
being it was one of the few flavors that I liked that didn't kill the coils.
And also, but the reason I say that is because I remember it was a very distinctive flavor, and it's a flavor I haven't seen anyone else mimic.
It was
since then.
Very.
It was really smooth, as I remember it.
It was incredibly smooth. It was just something that's never been replicated or come even close to in my eyes.
Yeah.
No.
I went through a stage. I vaped it that much that it used to make my heart palpate. So I stopped vaping it.
Was that because you were just vaping so much of it? You were overdosing on nicotine.
Maybe.
No.
But no, I can't find that in the UK.
No, I found it in my local vape shop, and they'd got 2 bottles left, and it was like, I'll have both of those, please. got it home and realised it was over 12 months out of date.
Yeah. Was it one of my bottles?
Yes. Yeah. It was.
I think I've got a thick oil tin can.
No, fuck off. They were the scam shits.
Were they?
Yes.
Were they fake ones?
No, the tin can ones were.
Were they?
They were sold as oil cans. Was it a thick oil? No. No.
Okay.
No, thick oil. They had butter oil, Akina oil. The toasted was banging as well.
Toasted was actually really nice, but it was a coil killer.
Yeah. You got Cool Raz.
Yeah. Was
got
that thick
Blue
oil?
Raz. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Blue Raz.
And the Cool Raz was just like Blue Raz with cooling in it, wasn't it? Yeah.
But no, they were a very good juice line.
Mm.
Very good juice line.
Yeah.
I'm sad now.
Genuinely,
I'm sad.
We've reminisced way too much. Oh dear. So, on that note,
tin cans with rude oil. I think it was crude oil.
Crude oil, rude oil. I remember.
Yeah, but one of their juice lines was called thick oil, and they were a rip-off job.
Yeah, it might well have been rude oil. I'll go and get the tin can if I find it.
Yeah. But no, it is nice to reminisce, but it's also sad to see so many companies gone and disappeared, so many good guys disappeared from the industry.
It is because literally you can now get a 60ml bottle for less than a $5.
Yeah, it was rude oil.
Rude oil, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't actually realise that it actually had juice in it. Someone just sent it to me as a little keepsake thing. But yeah. So yeah.
Oh, that was they were handing that's a Yeah, I got one of those. It was a freebie handed out at one of the shows, wasn't it? And it's literally a flask.
It's supposed to be a hip flask.
Yeah.
I don't think it was either.
So
there we go.
Cool. On that note, hey, we might be back next week.
Maybe.
I think so. Last one before Christmas.
Yeah.
And then the reboot in the new year.
Yeah, that'd be good.
It'll just be Mark on his own.
Yeah. Just reminiscing
about juices in days gone by.
Days gone by and how shit everything is.
Andrew, everything has changed. Some for the better. Fuck it. Everything for the worse. Everything for the worse.
Yeah.
But no, I'm doing what I love now. I'm doing what I enjoy. I may well be out of the industry, but I try to stay involved, and
your heart's still in it.
it's not. My heart is not in it
No.
at all. You know what? If it wasn't for the people, I wouldn't be involved. You know, the people that we're involved with come and go. And if it wasn't for the turnaround of people and the people we engage with, the people that we talk with, then the industry would be gone. So you guys that join us on Tuesday night, once every blue moon, you know, make the industry. You know, we are what's left of the industry. We need to embrace that. We need to enjoy that. We need to arrange a big vape meet. I know we were speaking with who we were talking with, Matt and Pugs, and there was a bunch of us saying, let's do a meet, let's set it up, let's do it. But yeah, watch this space.
We probably ought to do something expecting about 30, 50 people and see what happens. If more show, then yay, but
30, 50 people, like Tamworth started off at Vapor Expo, Vape Fest.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's how we ought to look at it. It's literally a let's have a get together, meet up, and take it from there.
And let's get pissed.
Yay! That's what it's for.
Have it as like a big massive bring and buy. Everybody brings their bags of old stuff and you just trade stuff amongst each other.
But I sell Matt.
Why not?
I'll sell Matt.
You'll sell Matt. We'll actually sell.
I'll sell Matt. He's wet and juicy. Someone will pay good money for him.
Literally have him sat on a stall going with a price tag around his neck. Marvellous. Cool. So, in that case, shall we see you next week?
I'll see you next week. We'll be here.
See you next week.
Yeah, hang on. Let me set up the outro because that would be good. I'm so not professional tonight.
And see if you can maybe mute us this time.
Yeah, I'll try. All right. So don't forget, guys. Don't just live life. Own it.
Adios, motherfuckers.
VTUK.